leave it to a set like BloomBurrow to really get the market moving. Because in today's video, we are going to discuss what's going on the reserve list. There are so many sales right now that we need to cover this, but then we also have to discuss what's happening with non-reserve list cards, and really one card in particular. Every once in a while, there comes along a set that causes all kinds of havoc and chaos among the reserve list, and BloomBurrow is such a set. Welcome back everyone, MTG Moxman here, and thank you again for hanging out with me on my channel. A reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notification bell, new content coming to you every single day. Now, with the reserve list, there are 572 cards on the reserve list, and for most of them, they're completely worthless and nobody loves them, except for us reserve list, just enthusiasts. Now, at the same time, not every card I'm talking about today is going to be a reserve list card. Some just haven't been printed very much, and because of that, the value is starting to go up, which is kind of a red flag because it lets you know that Wizards of the Coast, they're probably going to reprint this sooner rather than later. Now, for most of you guys, the easiest card to talk about would be Deranged Hermit. We talked about this several months ago when we saw that BloomBurrow was coming up, and we said, hey, this card's going to go, and it did. Went off like a firecracker. The thing's quadrupled in value. It's around the $75 to $79 mark, down from where it was at 16 bucks. It's gone huge. Because of the squirrels inside and the animalistic theme of this set, it's got the blood pumping. It's got the juices flowing, and it's got the wallets opening. A lot of money. Do you guys know, Deranged Hermit is selling at this price. Now, the more copies that sell at higher price points, the longer it takes for the price to kind of trickle back down to where it was, because price memory becomes a thing. So be aware of that if you were hoping for Deranged Hermit to go down like 60 days, it's going to take a lot longer because there's a lot of sales happening at the higher levels, and it's even being thrown off because some actual foil versions, Judge and Original, being bought up, which is just sending things into a tizzy. So be aware of this because the market's going to have to shift, but it's going to shift over a much longer period of time. And if Deranged Hermit is one of those cards you've been after, you're going to wait longer. I'm sorry, it's the way it is. Now, let's talk about the Liege of Hollows. Now, this card was only like $1 something. It's not a huge sought after, it's a spirit, but it did say in that card that when the spirit goes to the graveyard, anyone can spend any amount of mana, and they get these 1/1 green squirrels. Now, there were a few small buyouts, 10, 20 cards at a time, but now a few hundred copies, a few hundred copies, a few hundred copies. When hundreds of copies move on the reserve list, that moves the needle of the actual price point of the card. Sending somebody to buy 10 or 12 copies usually doesn't do anything. But when you send hundreds of copies to somebody's pocket, when you take that money, spend it, and now you're taking a chunk of this out of the market, that's something entirely different. Okay, and again, if somebody buys enough copies and got them cheap, they're probably flipping them. They're probably getting some of the value back right away to cover the cost, and then they end up with a bulk set of them that they've already paid for with the residuals of buying and selling back and forth during this uptick in the market. And it's all BloomBurrow's fault. I said fart. Fault! I know you probably laughed at home right now, didn't you? It was a word faux pas. Don't take it too seriously here. It's a serious channel. I'm wearing a D&D shirt. You guys know where it's at. Now, the Liege of Hollows is a little more interesting because this one stayed low for a very long time. It's never been a really expensive card, but again, we're seeing copies sell at the level we're at that mean it's just not really going to shift much in price for a while. You're going to have to wait. It's going to have to be a little while. Now we're going to get into something a little different. Seeds of Innocence. Not directly related to animals in this case, but the popularity of the card, the ability of what it does, is something not to be ignored. Because that card was a $2 card. And it shot up to 22 bucks and it's still climbing, and it's selling at that price point. When you have a low-end reserve list card, which was always a card you could use. This is not gibberish garbage. Alright? The Seeds of Innocence actually does stuff. It clears all the artifacts off the board. Yeah, people gain life, but so what? For 2 green and 1 generic, this was a highly sought after card for a long time. Players just don't use it that much, but Commander players remember. Commander players said, you know what? Let's get it. Let's talk about this card. And before you knew it, 400, 500, 600 copies go missing. Week after week, day after day. And now the market has shifted, the price has gone through the roof, and we are where we are. Another card with this kind of memory scale now attached to it. It means it's not going to shift quickly. Don't expect it to. If you're one of those people, though, who got in and bought them at $2, $4, you probably are one of those people who are pretty happy right now, because this card's continued to grow, the popularity's continued to, stick to the card, and we're seeing a real shift in price. I know not tons of people are talking about it, but this channel does focus on a lot of reserve list stuff in the past, and I keep it as a weekly topic every Saturday and Sunday for my top 10s, so it's something to keep in mind that this card I will be following closely. I'll let you guys know when I know something. I did manage to pick some copies up for my channel, so I'm pretty cool about it, and yes, I did get them at a lower price. I did warn people. I don't know what we got, but we're there. We're there. Now, cards that we weren't thinking were moving that are moving. There's no major price shift in this card. It's gone up a little tiny bit, but it is selling, and that's Yavimaya Hollow. This card only taps for generic, don't forget, but if you look up Yavimaya Hollow, I'm not popping up all kinds of script today on the screen to give you guys images, but you could look up Yavimaya Hollow. It taps itself in a green, and you can regenerate a target creature. Well, that can be highly effective in a lot of commander decks, especially when you're trying to keep your commander alive, and the fact you can put it into these anamorphic decks. You're going to have a blast with this card, okay? You can buy it for $50 to $75 depending on condition, but there has been a creep. This card used to be $35. It's slowly been seeping up, but the price has been so gentle in its adjustment, then what we're seeing is a little bit different. It's not having a major market impact, but there also aren't as many players buying it. But when you take 10, 12, 15, 18 copies every week from the market, just every week, take it away, take it away, take it away. Pardon me. What we're seeing is because that many copies are consistently leaving the market, it's this gentle push to make the price go up. It's gentle. It's not a hard shove like the Seeds of Innocence. It is a more gentle market adjustment to the popularity of the card and the physics of what this card does for your deck. So keep that in mind. If you're after this card, I actually don't expect it to adjust at all. It's too gentle of a push, and it's been such a long period of time and growing that means the length it would take to go down if everyone just decided to stop buying it, because if you bought it at $70, you're not selling it. You want to keep it at that price, and hopefully it goes higher. If you're one of those people who says, no, I want to hold on to this thing and see where it goes. It's reserve list. I want to keep it. I want to see where the thing takes it. You got years to decide, and that card's going to give you years of enjoyment, but it's something not to ignore. Now, to end things off today's video, to bring you full circle, because those cards are the most popular ones selling, and they're all, of course, mostly related to animals. But the last one is Swarmyard. Now, if you checked out Swarmyard right now, you would see it's gone up a lot in price. People were expecting maybe to show up inside BloomBurrow, and we're looking at now that it hasn't, and now we're seeing where the price is going, and it's shot up overnight. Lots of copies are selling. No panic sells. Don't worry, it's been reprinted and stuff, but it's the idea that there's still not as many out there as there probably are commander players who would like to get copies of the card. And the price shooting up means we're going to have a little bit of a tug of war for the lowest price, and then after those lower ones are gone, it's going to keep going up. So if you're looking for Swarmyard, it's a great card. It's going to fit into a lot of decks, and yes, it's going to cost a little bit of money. So this is where we're at right now, even with these new modern cards. If it affects animals and it's a mana-based card, people are using it. They're going to enjoy it. And on a side note, Volroth Stronghold also had quite a few sales. Nothing, again, to spike the market, but all these reserve list cards are probably in my top 10 this weekend when I get to the official number counting. And that includes Volroth Stronghold, because just too many cards have been selling, and I guess people like the idea of taking creature cards in the graveyard and then shoving them back on top of their deck, especially with some of these cards that are flipping 2 or 3 cards at a time, and you can just jettison some cards, keep the one you want by putting it with Volroth. So keep it in mind, guys, lots of reserve list action, but also non-reserve list cards like Swarmyard are selling quite a few copies. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thanks for being here on the channel. I look forward to seeing you guys for the top 10 on Saturday, the hottest selling cards in Magic the Gathering, and of course the Sunday edition of the reserve list top 10. I can't wait to share with you guys. I'm sure the numbers are going to be crazy. So don't forget, shop smart, shop S-Mart. Have yourselves a wonderful day in the world of Magic. And let me know, are you buying any of these cards? Are you shopping smart? Are you picking up some of these awesome cards? And did you get a good price? These are things I need to know. Thanks a lot for hanging out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, a big shout out and thank you to the fantastic patrons of my channel. Thanks again for being here, guys, and supporting each and every day. If you're one of my patrons or one of my YouTube membership members, you know you've contributed to daily uploaded content brought to you on this channel by the Moxman himself, and because of that support, I put out content every day. So thanks again, guys, for being there for the channel and being there for me and my family. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. I'm glad you guys made it. I'm looking because the camera's been messing up a bit, so pardon me, guys. This is not really a magic per se thing, but I'm a little bit annoyed. So if you want to walk out now, you don't want to hear any grumbling, feel free to walk out. I understand. No, there'll be no vulgarities here. So I'm with TCG Player as an affiliate. We get a 3.5% kickback here on the channel whenever anybody uses my code. I use that to buy prizes for the channel. Okay? Now, sometimes I save up money and then I withdraw it all at once and I can go get a bigger card. Force field, anyone? You guys get where I'm going with this. So, I guess I decided to withdraw the money, and they said no. Impact said no. I'm like, well, why? I put a little ticket thing you have to do, and they want me to verify my identity. It's not enough that they want access to things I'm not willing to give them. I'm not willing to upload that type of government-issued ID into some random place. It's not going to happen. And then, TCG Player guy trying to help me out. Looks like they have no legs to stand on, even though they're the ones that brought us to this company. As much as the guy's being nice about it, it looks like it's pretty much a done deal, which means all the money I saved up there, it's lost. I won't have access to it. I have no way of getting it. They won't give it to me unless I give them everything they want, which is not going to happen. It's just not. I mean, even when we do big purchases here on the channel, and myself using my own link, it's kind of funny because it means I probably just won't be doing it. And since it's TCG Player's fault, I probably won't use them anymore. Which is kind of weird, right? I'm vindictive like that, at least temporarily. We'll see how the long term goes. But it's one of those things you're like, this didn't have to happen. I have phone codes and all these hard ways that I have to log in to even get into the service of Impact. And you think that I'm not who I say I am. Really? After all the loops you make me jump through? And the fact TCG Player is verifying I am who I am? That's horrible. I'm really disappointed, and honestly, I'm a little bit bummed. Because that means the prize pools go down, there's less money available, and it's just one of those things you're like, really? Really? Yeah, I'm kind of bummed right now. Anyway, can't let things keep you down. Tomorrow's a bigger, brighter day. We'll see what the final thing says, though. I'm still warring with them. I'm still trying. Moxman doesn't give up. But companies do what they want to do. If you don't play ball the way they want in their playground, they just want you to take your ball and go home. They don't want to play with you anymore. Guys, have a great one.